Hello, and welcome to our Splashcast. We've got a nice young lady from Fairmont Senior, and she is going to introduce herself right now.
My name is Mia Abruzzino.
Well, hello, and I'm James Miller, and I am the owner-operator of Swim WV. Let's talk some swimming, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about, so you have been kind of like a distance swimmer for like ever. Is there ever a moment that you're like, man, I just don't want to like swim. I don't want someone to have to count my laps anymore. Is there like, or is there just such a love of just swimming distance?
There's times during practices, like the distance sets are hard, and I was just like, oh, I wish I was a sprinter. But it's what I'm good at, and I really enjoy doing it. So in the long run, I wouldn't change it.
Fair enough. I was a distance swimmer. I loved you can do that. Now, if you ever entered the mile, I don't want to watch you swim the mile ever in my life. Let's talk about Fairmont Senior, shall we? The team. What are they thinking about? Regionals is coming up. You get to come to our pool, which would be exciting.
Yeah.
And minor spoiler alert, that may or may not actually happen, but I might be calling our own regional meet. Long story, but anyway, what are we thinking about? What is the team thinking about?
So we're just thinking about bettering our relay times so we can get good placements into states, because our main goal obviously is to get in the top 6 and get a medal. And this year, like, we have a new freshman and her name's Caroline, and she's a good addition to our relay since we lost our senior Ella. So we're hoping we can stay in the top 6 and get a medal.
All right. Now, do you have, what is your personal goals? Because I know you've been close to a state title, but you haven't quite been there. Is there like a certain thing that maybe you could do to get there? Do you have like goals, or what is your personal goals?
This year, my goals are just to better my times and hopefully get a decent placing too. But honestly, like, being my senior year, I'm just looking for the best times I can get since it's like my last year for high school swimming. And with COVID, I know like a lot of swimmers can relate, like the training and the practicing and just the overall like focus on swimming has been a little interrupted over the past couple years. So it was nice to get back on track this year, and hopefully it pays off in the pool at states and I can get some best times.
Now let's piggyback on that for a second. So you're a senior this year, correct?
Yes.
All right, so you're a senior. So how is it? So a lot of times, especially if you've been swimming for a long time, and you had COVID last year, do you find that maybe the motivation is a little bit harder to get because you had that weird COVID time and you're a senior year, so you're like, I'm kind of done with this. Do you feel yourself having more motivational, having to motivate yourself more this year than you ever have, or is it the total opposite? Like, oh my God, I'm a senior. I am just completely more motivated than I've ever been.
Honestly, motivation has been very hard these past couple years for me, especially this year, because I'm just like, yeah, I'm a senior. I'm ready to be done. But as time gets closer to the meets, I definitely have tried to self-motivate myself more and say, this is my last year. I need to do the best I can. That way I can go out the way I want to and not be upset at the end of the season and have regrets like, what if I did this? What if I did that? So the motivation has been tough, but it's nice to like really try to push yourself and motivate yourself.
Now, is there certain advice that you give to the newer Fairmont? Because usually Fairmont Senior they've always had a really pretty good girls team. So is there some sort of advice that has been passed down from years of Fairmont Senior swims that you're passing down to your swimmers?
It's definitely like I know it's nerve-wracking, the first state meet. Honestly, they're more nerve-wracking high school states than like the club states that we have if you club swim. And that's what a lot of the girls, even that don't club swim, like it's just very nerve-wracking when you first walk in there. And so I've just told people to like keep calm, try not to let your nerves get the best of you, but use the nerves as a push to help you do better.
Now, how did you get started in swimming? Did you like did you see a poster? Did maybe like a certain relative maybe like kind of do that? Some people, their mom swam, so they like tell their kid that they're going to swim since the age of 5. How did you get started into the swim world?
So my sister actually tried a whole bunch of different sports when she was younger. And then my mom found summer swim and put her in summer swim. And then the very next year, I was around like 4 or 5. So my mom just decided to have me try it too. And that's pretty much how I got started into it.
Now, when was the moment? Was there a moment? Was there a special race that you realized like, hey, I might actually be good at this like swimming thing?
Honestly, for as long as I can remember, I've always like done pretty well. And like I just have like the racing aspect of it, and I just like the sport. So I was just like, I'm just going to keep doing it. It's something I've been good at, something I'm going to continue to do.
Now, so let's talk about the state meet. What kind of is there a cool like Fairmont senior thing that you do? Is there a certain thing that you're looking for? Maybe not swimming wise, not really swimming wise, like just a certain aspect of the state meet that you're looking forward to the most.
This year we got bucket hats, so I'm pretty excited to wear those
Yes.
on deck during the meet.
Oh my gosh. I am so excited about the bucket hats. I just like when people do like fun things. So yes, I will be all over that. Of course, I'm calling the state meet too, so it's gonna be hard for me to get down there. But at the 50 free, I'm at the 50 free break. I'm gonna find you guys, and I'll take a picture, put it on the Instagram
Okay.
and the Facebooks. Now, if you is there a certain music song that you're like that you have to jam to? Is there a go-to? Because especially if you're a 500 swimmer or distance swimmer, it's a lot harder. Like a 50 sprinter, they just need like something, they just need a chorus in their head. They just need like a quick 30-second thing. For a distance swimmer, you almost need something in your head to know that's the beat of the song, so that's the pace that I go. Maybe I just made that up, but maybe that's what you do. Is there a certain song that you listen to in your head as you're swimming the 500?
So there's not a certain song in particular. Honestly, it's just whatever comes to my head as soon as I dive in. And then like I'll just like speed it up to the beat that I'm pacing or whatever. So there's no like specific song, but I definitely sing songs in my head while I swim.
If you ever find yourself at the end of the race still singing that song?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about your relationship to other swimmers. Do you is there like are you close to any other swimmers that are not on the Fairmont senior team? Is there like a funny, goofy meet story with some of them?
So I club swim with a lot of the kids that go to Morgantown and UHS. So I'm pretty close with all of them. And a few of the Bridgeport girls I swam with when I was younger. So honestly, West Virginia swimming is good about everybody knowing everybody, and everybody's pretty much friends, and it's a good environment and everybody's nice. So I feel like most of the people in the state with swimming all know of each other and consider everybody like a friend.
And sometimes they not only do they know you, but they can be like, Mia, and they can tell you what time you swim in every event. Like they just know, or anyone. They just know like exactly who it is. So what now do you have like maybe because you've been swimming? How long have you been swimming club swimming? Let's start there first.
Probably about 13 years.
Okay. So in that 13 years, is there ever like been some like awkward meet moment or like a funny meet story that's happened to you that just, made you laugh, or just you just completely bombed something, but it was hysterical?
Honestly, when I was younger, I would get pretty emotional when bad things happen. Like I did the 2 IM for the first time and I messed up the backstroke flip turn and I got DQ'd and I cried. And then I did 100 breaststroke and my goggles fell off, but I ended up going a best time. So that was a good one. It was like a funny story because like my goggles were off the whole race, but I ended up going a best time. So I've always remembered that because I was like, if I can do it with no goggles, then I can do it with goggles.
Now, you had a sister that was, she was kind of all right at swimming, I think, right?
Yeah.
She was kind of all right. And I may have asked you this before, I don't remember, but do you ever feel, was there ever like this like pressure to be like your sister? Or did we purposely do things? Because my sister and I were very competitive. That's how I became a piano player, because my sister did it. And then I was like, I'm going to do it too. And I just got really good. And that's what I do with my life. But is there something that like, do we have that competitive thing? Do you like say, I'm going to beat her time? Or did you try to go other races around her sister so that way it could be the Abruzzinos rule the Fairmont senior record board all the way out? Like, let's talk about that for a second.
So pretty much we swam like the same high school events. The one year we did swim against each other. And I recently just broke her 500 record, which was good. I was trying to break it for a couple years and I finally did it. So yeah, we've been very competitive. She's a great swimmer. She went on to swim D1. But when it came to like other sports, I was always like a little bit better at like land sports than her because she wasn't very coordinated on the land. So I guess that's where like I felt like I could like compete better, because not that we couldn't compete in the pool, but I always knew that I'd be able to kind of like in a basketball game or something, kind of like beat her at that.
Now let's talk about that. So your sister went D1. She's swimming D1 in college. Do you have any future like swimming plans in the future? Or is the state meet, should we all stand and applaud for the last bit of the last swim of your short high school career?
Honestly, I haven't figured out what I want to do yet. I've looked at a few schools to swim at, and I've looked at a few schools maybe that I just want to go and focus on school. But as I come like near these next few months, I'm going to narrow down my decision more. But right now, I'm really not sure whether I want to swim or not. But I'm definitely keeping my options open on like schools that I would swim at and schools I wouldn't swim at.
That's awesome. And I tell everyone this. You got to announce it with me first. So you got to be like, Swim WV, I am going to this school. You need to, I'll even put you on the splash cast for 90 seconds for you to announce it and post it all over the Facebooks. You swam for a little while. Is there a favorite swim set that you've ever had, or like favorite could be, rhetorical in this sense, and it could be like your least favorite and the one that you like died the most in? Like, what, do you have a favorite swim set?
I don't know. I've done so many over the years. I probably couldn't even think back. I guess like since I'm more so a distance swimmer, every now and again when we do a little sprint set, I guess I like it a lot. I like it because I'm not used to like sprinting all the time and everything. So it definitely helps like the distance swimming, obviously, because you have to be able to finish the race. But it's also fun to like be a sprinter for the day.
Now, how do you turn that knob? So you're mostly a distance swimmer, so which is kind of cool. Most people don't have to worry what one of your events at states is always going to be, because you usually swim the same one. And if you're not swimming it this year, you don't have to tell me. But how do you change that up? How do you go from, do you find the transition? Because especially the events are back to back. If you go from the 500 free to the 200 freestyle relay, or even the 500 to the 400 free relay, how do you have to change your mindset as you do that? Or do you just know that like, well, with the 500, I've been practicing my flip turns 20 times. What is that switch that you have that how do you change over?
Honestly, it's just kicking more because like when I swim distance, I don't kick that as much as I should. But when I sprint, I know like I got to kick because everybody else is kicking. So more kick picks up the arm speed. So like, honestly, it's just like I tell myself, just kick more.
Now let's talk about Mia outside of the pool, shall we? I'm sure I'm sure swimming isn't the only thing about you that's unique and interesting and exciting. So, what are some interests or hobbies that you have outside of the sport of swimming?
So I'm a pretty active member in our student council at my school. I'm actually the student body secretary. So I am one of the leaders of the school, and we work a lot with like the community and bettering our school. So that's something I do outside of swimming. And other than that, just do some schoolwork here and there, hang out with my friends. It's pretty much swim, school, and then the student council stuff.
So you're gonna be like, is your goal to be like the future president? Is that, or like a future president of?
When I was little, I would say that, but not so much anymore.
Now, I promised you that I would do this, and this will take a couple seconds. Your family, which is not you, not your parents, but apparently your family might be kind of well known in the state of West Virginia. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Why would they be well known for people that don't know?
So they make pepperoni rolls and like buns and that type of stuff, but most known for their pepperoni rolls.
And I believe that's your last name. Is it the Abruzzinos?
Yeah.
They actually even made, I'm pretty sure the Abruzzino's pepperoni rolls have even made it up to the Eastern Panhandle, which is weird because there's this, Maryland is in the way between us and the rest of the West and the rest of West Virginia. So it's even made it our way. Now we mentioned this with your sister. You said you used to compete with your sister against other sports. If there was another sport that you could dominate, I think you might have mentioned it, but now we got to pick one. Which sport would it be?
I did a lot of like other sports throughout my years, but I really liked I ran track. I liked track, and I played basketball actually for a decent amount of time. I started in like 1st or 2nd grade, and I played up until 8th grade. So I really liked basketball. If I was a little bit taller, I would have definitely liked to play basketball.
Now, is there like a favorite meet story, like club meet, just you hanging out with some of your friends? Is there like a funny meet story that's not you crying over your goggles falling off, but has there been like a fun meet story that you've had over your 13 years swimming?
Yeah, so in between events a lot I would take naps, and I would sleep in the weirdest ways in my like folding chair. And they would always take pictures of me, like I'd be like head back, legs crossed, or like just laying in a weird way. So I would be like just always asleep in the middle of the meet. So when it's like loud and everything. So it's kind of funny because everybody would make fun of me because they didn't know how I slept through like the loud noises and everything.
Well, I'm surprised nobody put you on like the diving board and let you like lay on the diving board upside down. Was that?
That would have been pretty comfortable.
Now, is there let's talk about your coaches for a second. Are they giving you wait, you have coaches or a coach? I'm sorry.
So for high school we only have one coach, and then I have a club coach.
I did catch myself. Okay, I was right. I thought for sure you only had one coach. That was luck. Sometimes sometimes I do remember things. So is your coach giving you kind of like what's his magical, you have like a magical mantra that like Fairmont Senior has that for the rest of the year? Is he giving you guys certain advice? Is he is there something that he's telling you that's gonna get you guys closer to the goal that you're trying to achieve?
Just working on our relay starts more so, because like we really want our relays to place, because like it's nice to have take back to the school that your relays were like placers, like not just an individual like placer, just a few people. So we've really been working on our relays and our relay starts and like moving people around, like seeing which way it's going to work. And so that has been like his main focus, I guess, with us.
Well, awesome. Well, I thank you for coming on to this podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No problem. This has been a lot of fun, and I'm going to see you twice because I will see you at the regionals, and then I will also see you at states.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.